Hey! Welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're seeing me, hello. My name is Emma. I turned 26 roughly a week ago. I'm from Sweden, and on this channel I document my attempts at becoming a better person. If you want to know the details about that, or if you want to see how that has been going, you can watch my previous videos. But to make a long story short, that is the purpose of this channel. I haven't made a video in a while because it was my birthday week, and I figured that my birthday week I am going to spend with my family, which is what I did. It was wonderful, and honestly, I love my family dearly. I couldn't be more appreciative of them. So I had a wonderful birthday week. But now that birthday week is over, it has been for a while, to be honest, but now it is over, and so I figured that with this new chapter in my life, that is the age of 26, I can do my best to start on a good note and remain on a good note, or maybe even improve the note throughout this chapter. We'll see if I succeed with that, but I'm gonna make an effort at least. And so I decided that let's make a video outside. It might be the last video I make outside this year, because summer is coming to an end and it's getting a bit chillier. As you can see, there's not as much sun. But I might be wrong. There might be days where the weather is really lovely and I come out here and I do a video anyway. We'll see. As is tradition, or as, I don't know if that's how you say it, or as it has kind of become tradition, every time I'm outside I do a fit check. So today is no exception. The skirt that I've customized or whatever, I am wearing shorts underneath, just so you know, and also this cute little top that I figured, hey, it's really cute, why shouldn't I wear it? And then I came here and I sat down, and the first thing that happened was this popped off. And I'm not just like talking like it came out of its hinge or whatever, but like the stitches came undone, and I kind of panicked. So this is the solution that I came up with. I just did this, and because it has like one of these, I make one of these makeshift knots. I pull rather tight, and that works until I get back home. What a shame. It's a cute top. So I guess I'm gonna have to put my sewing skills into practice and repair it. I've done it with other pieces of, well, what do you call it? Other clothing garments of mine. Never mind, that's not the point, but that's just something I wanted to complain about. Also, I got a message on Instagram from someone. It was something, what was it? They said something like, I'm feeling depressed, please make another video, or something like that. Here I am making another video, but on top of making another video, I would like to say to this person that I also have moments where I get very, very depressed. And my best advice to you is, despite it being difficult, try your hardest to stick to a healthy routine or a healthy schedule. And honestly, I think I'm willing to bet like a good chunk of money that everybody who sees this has at least at some point in their life also felt very depressed. So it's very relatable. I've been there. I think a lot of other people have also been there. So my message to you is, try your best to stick to a healthy routine or a healthy schedule. Don't beat yourself up too much if you can't, because, hang on, I'm just gonna try to keep myself in focus. Don't beat yourself up if you don't succeed at it, but try your best. And I hope that this video helps you feel a little bit better. I am actually going to talk about something that I think could be helpful to you if you're feeling depressed. So I hope it helps. And with that being said, hang in there. It's going to get better. I know it doesn't feel I'm sorry for constantly like fixing with my phone. I'm trying to figure out the light. If the light is bad, sorry about it. I don't bring my studio lights or whatever. I don't have studio lights, but I don't bring my fucking ring light with me when I go out and film in like public or whatever. So bad lighting is gonna have to, we're gonna have to live with that this time, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But as I was saying, to the person who wanted a new video because they're feeling a little bit depressed, I hope this video helps you out, not just by being a video that comes out so that you can watch it, but also the contents of the video. Hang in there. It is going to get better. I understand that it might not feel like it's going to get better, but trust me, it is going to get better. So I'm rooting for you. Hang in there. In today's video, I would like to talk about getting out of isolation. I have talked about making this video prior. I've been wanting to make this video prior. I even have notes for it. But I haven't gotten around to making this video, partially because I figured that I'm gonna start by turning 26. And so then that new chapter of my life being the age of 26, I can start by laying down the groundwork of what my plan is to get out of isolation. Because I'm not talking about getting out of isolation as some all-knowing God who knows everything about it. I'm talking about it as someone who wants to get out of their own isolation. Like, I've been isolating myself for very, very long. It is not healthy. It has shown to have many different consequences that I am very tired of. And so I want to get out of isolation. And these notes that I've written are some of the notes that I made. This is my plan of how I'm going to get out of isolation. And I am hoping that by talking about it, I can maybe help someone else also get out of isolation, maybe inspire them to write down their own plan of getting out of isolation. Because while this might be my plan, it might not work for everyone because everyone's circumstances are different. But hopefully this will inspire someone to also work on getting out of isolation. And let's start. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Getting out of isolation is the headline. Is that what I called it? I don't know. But this oh no, it's a little windy. That's not good. But this plan called Getting Out of Isolation starts with a question. Why do I need to get out of isolation? That is what it says right here. And I'm gonna say what I have written, but then I'm gonna elaborate on it, or at least I'm gonna try to. I don't know if I'll do a good job at it, but I'll do my best. Why do I need to get out of isolation? My response to that is losing contact with other humans severs your connection with the modern society, reality, the moment you are in, and your chances of evolving. To explain that a little bit, us humans are social creatures. Duh. But our entire society is built on the fact that we are social creatures. Like, us interacting with each other is a fundamental part of our life. We have to do it in order to connect with other parts of society, I think is a good way of saying it. I'm a little cold, actually. I did bring a hoodie, so I might just put that on. One moment. Yeah. There we are. But as I was saying, we're social creatures, humans that is. Our entire society is built upon us interacting with each other, talking to each other, hanging out with each other. These are the parts that I don't quite figure out because I have been isolating for so long, I think. Or maybe there is some other reason, but honestly, the way I explain this might be able to show how much I've been isolating. We'll see. Oops. In order for you to work as good as possible, feel as good as possible, evolve as good as possible, just overall be as good as possible as you can, you have to interact with other human beings. Because we're social creatures. And as I mentioned, I think several times at this point, our society is built on the fact that we interact with each other. We interact with our teachers, with our colleagues, with our bosses, with others just around us that we happen to meet, our neighbors, service workers, what have you. And this is something that I was talking about, or this is something that I was talking with someone else about. But, or maybe that wasn't what I was talking with them about, but it's something similar. When you stop interacting with other people, there is no one around you to stop you and tell you that what you're doing is weird. This is something that I have struggled with a lot, and it took me quite some time to figure it out. And it led to some embarrassing moments, which I've been thinking about making a separate video about, just to reiterate like why it is so bad to isolate yourself. But if you don't interact with other people, you don't realize how your actions affect them, because there is no one there to react to your actions, like the things that you say, the things that you do. If you are around other people, there could be someone there to tell you that, hey, that's pretty cool, or hey, yo, you're being weird. But if you're not around other people, then how are you going to know that what you're doing is good or what you're doing is weird? Other people will, your actions and your words and your choices reflect on other people in the way that they react to your actions. I'm sorry for being discombobulated. And so that reinforcement from the people around you is the social interaction that our society is built upon. Of course, what I say in this video might be complicated as fuck, and it might not even be right, but it's just the type of structure that I have built in my head to make a little more sense of my situation. It might change in the future, we'll see. And so if you isolate yourself, there is no one there to let you know whether you're going too far, or whether you're not doing enough, or whether you're doing something wrong, or whether you're doing something right. Even positive reinforcements won't be, you won't realize that you do something good because there is no one there to praise you for it. So if you isolate yourself, you're gonna be running rampant with your ideas of how things are supposed to be, or at least that's what happened with me. I was so in my head. Also, I do apologize, I didn't bring any tissues, so if I go throughout this video, my bad. When I was isolating, I was so in my head that I didn't realize that there are actually things going on outside my head. But I didn't know that because there was no one around me to tell me that, yo, focus, hello, the real world is out here. And I didn't realize because there was no one there to tell me. At least one of the reasons why I isolated was because of this fear of others, this fear of the outside world, what others think of me, others looking at me, others judging me, others knowing that I exist. I still have that fear. It's completely irrational. Well, maybe not. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. That's something I'm gonna have to talk about with my shrink. But I have this very intense fear of the outside world, and because it's so intense, it made me isolate. And when I isolated, my misconceptions about the outside world grew like mold in like a little takeout container or whatever. You know when you have like takeout food, you get Indian or something, and then you have it in its little plastic container, and then you open it and you realize the mold has just been growing, and then you have to throw it out. With the right reinforcements from others and with social interaction with others, you're going to prevent the mold of isolation to take up all your headspace and make you act out in ways that is weird or strange or bad or whatever. I mean, it is. There are multiple ways of explaining that, which is why I'm going to make a separate video about it. But what I'm saying is, to cut it, I want to move on to the next point. So to cut it short, or whatever you say, humans are social creatures, and the interaction. I can see a squirrel, I think. Oh my god, it's a squirrel. Anyways, I'm sorry for getting distracted. Humans are social creatures, and the interaction between humans is what the human society is built upon. If you don't interact with other people by isolating, you're not going to be a part of society, because nobody knows you exist. Nobody's there to tell you if you're doing something right, if you're doing something wrong. It severs your connection, as I said. It severs your connection with the modern society, which is what I'm talking about when I say that our society is built upon interacting with each other. Reality, because everyone has a general consensus. I don't know if that's how you say it, but everyone has like an understanding of what reality is. It's 2025. It's the end of summer. I'm in Sweden, and that's the reality. But if you just isolate and have no contact with the outside world, then what are you going to know about the reality of the outside world? You're not going to know anything about it. You have to be in contact with the outside world to know the reality of it, and subsequently make rational decisions based off of reality, the actual reality, not just your perceived reality that you have from your isolation, but actual reality. Another reason to get out of isolation is that this is what I have written. Any problem that you have will intensify and be a lot more difficult to fix, maybe even impossible. What I mean by that, if I remember this correctly, because these notes are quite old, when you have a problem that you don't know how to fix, my go-to way usually is to turn to someone who knows how to fix the problem and ask them. Whether it is via the internet, like doing a Google search, which often there's more harm than good, so that's not the best way, or asking someone I know personally for, their help. Because if you try to do something by yourself because you are isolating, then chances are, because you don't have a realistic view of the world and how the world perceives this problem, then you're not gonna have a realistic view of the solution, because you can't because your worldview is so small due to you isolating. There's gonna be very little that you can do to combat whatever problem it is that you have. So stop isolating, get outside, talk to people, and see how they can help you with your problems. There are more reasons that I just haven't written down, but this video is getting quite long, so I'm gonna, as I mentioned, I've been thinking about making another video talking about this getting out of isolation anyway, so looks like that video is gonna be made sooner or later. Also, I did bring like my ashtray and my cigarettes, but I've been trying to cut down on smoking because, you know, smoking isn't good and I don't actually need to smoke. But I have to say, smoking is very grounding. It's very... So, if I feel the need to collect myself, to gather my thoughts or whatever, I might light a cigarette. Here is the more definitive, like, plan of what I'm gonna do to get out of isolation. The things that I'm gonna look up, that I'm gonna research, and that I'm going to practice. Like, these are the practical parts of my plan of getting out of isolation. It starts by, it's a list of things, and the list is things to look up / research / practice. And the first one is modern etiquette / manners. This I know I have talked with someone else about. If you want to get out of isolation and you have no idea how to behave around others, you don't know what's okay, you don't know what's not okay, but you don't want to make a fool of yourself for not knowing what is the proper way to handle things or whatever, then I highly recommend you to look up modern etiquette and or manners. I say modern etiquette because there are like my thoughts are drifting, I'm sorry. Yeah. I hate to say it, but there is a certain serenity you get from smoking that as of yet I have not found a good substitute for. Oh well. There are certain like rules of etiquette that are quite outdated, such as men have to do this for women but not the other way around. I don't really care about the gender differences like that. I just try to be as polite as possible when I meet someone. But for example, some of the things that you can do regardless of who you are: hold the door open for others. When you're in the store and you're getting something, then you can always say hello, good day, good evening, what have you, and then be nice and polite to the service workers. And like, there are many other things, of course, but just modern etiquette and manners is essentially a rule guide for how people behave outside. Maybe not everybody, but enough people are using modern etiquette and manners now my mind is really wandering. Modern etiquette and manners are accepted pretty much everywhere. I mean, it's different based on what culture you grew up in, or live in, or participate in, or whatever you call it. But modern etiquette and manners is going to make it a lot easier to be out in public, because that's essentially the rule book of how you behave around others. Some of it is outdated and some of it isn't, but it's worth reading about if you're unsure of how you're supposed to handle yourself when you're in public. The second thing to look up or to research or to practice. There's a bug. Go away. The only bugs that I invite to these little garden parties that I have are bees, not wasps, bees and ladybugs and pretty butterflies. Other than that, they can go do their business. This one has died out, so next thing that I highly advise you to research or practice or whatever, personal hygiene. This is also part of the reason why you should get out of isolation. If there is no one around you to tell you that you stink, then you're gonna stink and you're not gonna notice. So this is a little embarrassing to admit, to be honest, but when I have been at the worst depths of my isolation, I have not been that diligent, with my personal hygiene, and it's really embarrassing, to be honest, quite humiliating. But I believe that the I believe that the humiliation and the embarrassment from admitting that is going to help me, like, reinforce the fact that personal hygiene is very important. You need to shower every day, you need to brush your teeth, you need to brush your hair, because in one way or another, personal hygiene is like you making sure that other people don't have to smell your shit. So be kind towards others and don't stink. Make sure that they don't have to go or in your presence. Nobody likes it when someone stinks. Make sure you don't stink. So that's one of the things that I highly advise you to look up, research, and practice. This one is big. The next one. Rejection management. The light is really terrible, but honestly, this video might just be one of those videos where the light's terrible. I apologize. Rejection management. Whoops. You're gonna get rejected. There's no way around it. It's part of life. Whether it is by someone else, maybe it's a rejected job offer, maybe it's a rejection from a love interest, what have you. Rejection is going to happen and there's no way to avoid it. So manage your expectations, I would say. Don't expect everything to go flawlessly, because not everything is going to go flawlessly. Because you are going to get rejected. Maybe once, maybe more than once, doesn't matter. It is going to happen. It sucks. I hate being rejected too. So much so that I isolated to avoid it. It didn't help. Isolation is not going to solve the problems that you have with rejection. So that's why rejection management is very, very important. One of the most important, I would say, on this list. I actually asked Chat GPT about rejection management. Like, what was it? I don't remember what I asked, but how do I practice rejection management? I think I asked. And it gave some very good answers actually. Maybe not the most flawless answers, but it's something. So if you don't have someone else to ask for help regarding rejection management, then ask ChatGPT, because I asked ChatGPT, gave some decent answers. Maybe there is someone else who has better answers, but until then, ChatGPT will do just fine. Here's another one that I think is one of the more important ones. Problem assessment. You're faced with a problem. How are you supposed to fix it? That is problem assessment. Well, I think at least that's problem assessment in 2 words. Because in order to solve a problem, you have to assess it. You have to figure out, if I solve it this way, is it going to be better or worse? If I solve it this way, is it going to be better or worse? Is it even a problem to begin with? You know, things like that. And this is also something that I asked ChatGPT and got a pretty decent answer for. And of course, if there is someone who is smarter than ChatGPT, ChatGPT isn't even smart to begin with because it's AI, it's not a real person. But if there is someone who has a better answer to how to assess problems than ChatGPT, then that works great. But until then, ChatGPT will do just fine. I asked ChatGPT and I got a decent answer. So that's one thing that I highly recommend researching and practicing and looking up in general. Next thing that I recommend looking up, researching, practicing, and this part will need some introspection on your part. I say you as in yourself. So me, as I film this, I have the camera turned towards me. So when I say you, I'm talking about me and my life and so on and so forth. But also whoever is watching this, you, I guess. This is my advice. The point that I was getting to, that is, knowing when you are okay and when you are not. What I meant by this is that sometimes someone tells you something and it's just the most ridiculous piece of trash you've ever heard that you're not okay with. And then they ask, oh, is this okay? Is it fine if I do this? And you say, yeah, it's fine. Even when you're not fine, you just want to be kind. But are you actually okay with it? Or do you just want to be nice to the other person because you don't want to cause trouble? Chances are you are not. But you said that you were okay with it, so now when you want to actually talk to them and say, hey, listen, I'm not okay with this, then they're gonna hit you with it, but you said you were okay with it. And that's just gonna cause so many issues. So know when you are okay with something and when you are not. Don't answer immediately to someone saying, is it okay if I do this? Think of it. Are you actually okay with it? or are you not? Because it is far easier in the long run to just say, honestly, I'm not that okay with it. I would prefer it if you did it this way or that way or what have you, rather than just saying, yeah, it's okay to be kind. So that, I would say, is very important. And the last thing to look up or research or practice on this list is how to calm down in a stressful moment. And the list ends there, actually, so I'll do this. For example, you, out of habit, told someone that, yeah, it's fine, it's okay, you can do this, even though you're not fine with it and you're not okay with it, but you just said it out of habit because you want to be nice to the other person, you don't want to make them feel weird. But in reality, you're not okay with whatever it is that they're doing or saying or whatever it may be. And that then you try to tell them, like, hey, listen, I'm not okay with this. It doesn't feel good or what have you. And they start hitting you with it, but you just said it was okay. That can get heated real quick. And very aggravating, very frustrating. In moments like that, it is incredibly helpful to have a plan for how you are going to calm down and look at things more rationally. And so, for that reason, I highly advise you to have a plan in place for when you are very frustrated and very agitated and very upset. Have a plan for how you're going to calm down. My go-to plan, actually, this is my personal go-to plan for when I get really upset and frustrated and can't handle it, is to leave, maybe say that, hey, I need to use the bathroom or something, and then just taking a moment to myself, doing some deep breathing exercises. This is actually a fun fact that I don't think I've talked about on my channel yet. This tattoo is a square. It's meant to symbolize, like, I don't know if it's called something else, but squared breathing. You inhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold that for 4 seconds. And then you start over. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold that for 4 seconds. And you repeat that until you feel that you have calmed down. For me, it works really well. For other people, it might not, but there are many different ways to calm down. This method just happened to work well for me. And the reason why I have it on my arm right here is because let's say I'm so upset and agitated and erratic and I can't calm down, that I sit with whatever sharp tool that I have because in my right hand, because I'm right-handed, and I'm getting ready to do something really stupid, then I see this tattoo and I go, it's fine, calm down, it's not that big of a deal, take a deep breath, you are okay, it's not that big of a deal, let's take this one step at a time, Let's not do anything stupid. Go away. No, go away. That's the story behind this tattoo. Bugs everywhere. So yeah, though that is so far, I guess, my plan on what I'm going to do or practice and research and think and whatever else to get out of the isolation that I have found myself in. Oh dear, things are falling left, right, and center. I apologize. Excuse me. Of course, this list might grow, might evolve, might decrease, might change in whatever way. But this is my starting point, is what I'm saying. I will be starting from here. We'll see how it goes. And I figured that now that I'm 26, this will be a little bit of a plan for how I want to go about getting out of isolation. And I figured that I have my reasons for sharing it on YouTube. But other than that, I figured that maybe someone else can see it and maybe be inspired. Maybe someone who has found themselves in a similar position to me, also isolating for whatever reasons. And I hope that I can inspire them to help themselves a little bit. Maybe they also can write up their own plan for getting out of isolation. Because, and I will make another video about this, as I have said, isolating isn't good. It's terrible. It causes so many problems, and you quite literally miss out on everything because of it. And then, before you realize it, 5 years have gone by, for which you have spent the entirety in isolation, and everyone else has moved on and built a life and improved and evolved and whatever, and you're just in the same position because you've been isolating. And that's bad. I don't want it to be like that. So, this is the first draft, or prototype, I should say, maybe, for a plan of getting out of this isolation so that I can live a happy and healthy life and become a better person. And I encourage whoever is watching this to do the same. I'm a little afraid that the video has been very dark. Oh well, it's the message that counts, not the way I look in it. Bugs are not welcome. Except those that I have mentioned. Actually, all bugs are welcome. You can't just exclude people like that. People, what am I saying? You can't exclude certain bugs like that just because you don't like them. That's not how it works. That's unfair. Anyway, I hope this video was interesting. It was quite long compared to my other videos, but I mean, hey, I think it was an important video to make. I've been wanting to make it for a long time, so I put a lot of effort, well, not a lot of effort maybe, but a lot of thoughts into it. I hope it was worth it. And it feels good now that the video has been made. I really hope you enjoyed it. As I've been saying, there will be another video coming out eventually, we'll see when, about the consequences of isolation, I think. Maybe that's what I'm going to call it. But a video will be coming out that is related to this one. Until then, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, take care.